I'm Yayo. That's how my family calls me. My real name actually is Eduardo, but nobody calls me by that name. My full name is Eduardo Felipe. So that sounds kind of like a TV soap opera name. They call me Yayo, my friends, my family. So that's how I like to be called as professional. I've been a professional chef for around 12 years now. I studied. I went to San Jose to study culinary arts a long time ago. I think you met my girlfriend.
Yes.
We met in college. It was really fun experience. When I was studying, I found a job in here in Nosara.
Are you from Nosara originally?
No, I'm from San Jose.
Okay.
I came here for work. I found a gig in here, and I really like it. The first time that I came, there's kind of like legend around that says that basically if you swim on Nosara's river or you get wet with the water of the river, you're gonna stay in Nosara for all your life. I don't know if it's true or not, but I stayed.
I think I believe it.
Yeah, there's something in this place that's kind of like magical.
Yeah. How old were you when you came to Nosara?
I think I was around 20, 23, 22.
And was there anyone else here that you knew, or did your family come after?
Well, I had a friend that he was here, and he gave me house for a month. When I had money to pay a rent, I changed home. I was living on his. He had a couch.
Good way to start, yeah.
Good way to start.
Yeah.
And from there, I got a place for my own. And suddenly, I had a motorcycle. And then I was looking for another house, and then I had a full-time job. I first started a restaurant that it was called El Campesino, that it was from Joseph Craig,
Okay.
good friend of mine. Well, yeah, he gave me job,
What was your first job?
just frying things.
Okay.
Doing things on a grill, nothing too sophisticated. And it was like a really good start, I would think.
You started off in the frying station, right?
Yep.
And then he was teaching you about smoking. And when did you? What happened after that? What was your progression?
Basically, what happened was season ended. By that time, this town was really controlled by the season. So season was going from November to mid-August, kind of. By that time, people that were in here were because basically they were living here. But there was nobody here. I would love to go to the beach in mid-August because there was nobody. It's kind of rains a little bit by that time. I like to say that it rains with a schedule because but around 2 it's gonna rain. The morning is gonna rain a little bit. Then in the afternoon it's gonna rain a little bit more. By night suddenly it's gonna rain. But then mornings again it's gonna rain a little bit, and then you have a really nice time. It's a little humid because of that, because you get all the sun and all the rain. But it's beautiful. I mean, everything is green because there's no dust.
Yeah. That's actually, I think, one of my favorite times that I came here was when we came in October one year. It was beautiful. The greens, I know it was raining, but it was just stunning. I'd never seen Nosara look so beautiful, no dust.
It's
and
beautiful.
It was just stunning. So it sounds as though tourists really did drive
Yep.
how and when you cooked.
Yep.
So did you feel like the education that you got, what sort of molded the way that you cook?
Well, I had to basically go back because I by that time I wasn't finished my education. So it was kind of like a break from college. I just stopped it. I freeze everything and I came here. I stood up for one season, and then I went back to studying. So it was kind of hard for me because I was back in the city after being in Nosara. I wanted being back in here, being on the rivers, just being on the beach. I didn't have any of those in San Jose, so it was kind of hard. I finished studying, and by the time I finished studying, I took a couple more works in San Jose, and I came back to here, to Nosara. I came back here. I got a job on a restaurant. It wasn't that good because it was out of Guiones. It was behind the bomba. the gas station. It was like out of Guiones, and by that time, people did not want to go out of Guiones.
Yeah, it's a little tucked away, right?
Yeah, everything was in Guiones. If you did not have like a business in Guiones, it was tough because that was kind of like the center. Now that center grew up so much that like Nosara, Peladas, and even Ostional and Garza, they have working places, restaurants, bars, grocery shops, convenience stores. You get everything now.
How long did you stay at that restaurant?
I would like to say 6 to 8 months, not sure. And then they closed. So I had to find another job. I found a friend that had a juice truck. A friend of mine told me like, hey, there's this guy looking for a juice boy. And I said like, well, I need a job because I need to pay rent and I want to stay here. So I went there. I stayed there making juices for 1 year.
In Guiones?
In Guiones, it's called Go Juice.
Oh, it's still there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Still there.
Yeah.
Super friends of mine. They're
Right
super
next to
cool.
Rosie's, yeah.
Yeah, next to Rosie's,
Yeah.
like in front of the Gilded Iguana. And it was crazy. Like I had a line of people 7 a.m. Like everybody waiting for a smoothie, waiting for a cold coffee. And I like it. And I started moving. Then they called me from Source Simply. And I started working there with Dennis.
I have to say that everyone we've spoken to over there speaks of your name with great reverence. The chefs have a lot of respect for you, the cooks that we've met in Nosara. So what happened when you went to Surf Simply? Because it seems as though I think your career might have boomed there.
Yeah, it boomed. They helped me a lot, like growing as a professional chef. Ru Hill is an exceptional person. He helped me grow up as a professional in so many different angles. Not only on the kitchen, because part of my work was actually dealing with people, negotiations or making orders. So with that, I got to know a lot of people in town.
And the business side.
And the business side also. So I knew, to give an example, I know the guy that he was making bread. And by that moment, there wasn't like that much people doing things. I knew the guy from the butcher place. I knew the guys from the supermarket. The girls that run the accountability in the supermarket for all the bills. So I was knowing people from different works, different offices, different places. And so I think so simply open a little bit like me knowing the word. They show me this place. They show me the people that work for this place and how it's got like a really good reputation. It's a really big place. People start like, whoa, you're a chef for Source Simply. Wow, that's amazing. I think that like boom, like helped me so much. Meeting all these guests, meeting all these people coming from all around the world, making conversations with them. Something changed on me.
Yeah. I think what's interesting is how you've talked a little bit about your evolution from frying to juice to working in a huge place like Surf Simply. You've seen now your own evolution. How did Nosara sort of help that evolution? Because Nosara has changed quite a bit in the last, I would say, probably 15 years now, food-wise, right?
Yeah. This is because I think it's part of what Nosara is. Like, I seen people basically building companies from scratch. Like, just a guy with a surfboard. That's actually how Ru started, like, many years ago. And many times tell us, like, this kind of stories, like, to boost you up, to have confidence that you can do it too. Like, he had 3 boards, and he was just parking it, like, in the main entrance of the Guiones Beach. So if he do it, why cannot you do it? Like, besides that, like, this is my country and this is where I wanna make my work. This is where I wanna live. This is where I wanna do everything. And based on that, like I said, like, if they do it in the past, why can't I do it? Like, after I passed many years at Source Simply, it got to a point that I said, like, I wanna do something from my own. I wanna start by my own. I don't know in what, because I wasn't sure if I wanted a restaurant, if I want to do private cooking or private lessons, or if I want to change career or start something up. And then I said, like, well, like, I really like making conversation. I really like knowing different people. What if I combine everything together? And I give like an experience, not only a dinner. So basically, I talk with my clients. I explain what are like the fruits, what are the vegetables, what's the process, how I do things, why I do things like this. Many times I use traditional methods to do some of my plates, or many times I take a traditional plate and I change the process so I can give to my clients a little bit of cultural history on a plate.
A guest is coming here to experience true Costa Rican life. You've got the food, you've got the method and how you prepare the food and how you pick the food even. And that's very exciting for me. And I'm sure for a lot of people, because there's really no point in coming somewhere if you're not going to experience the true traditional food. But how have you been able to then keep up with, I guess, the fusions that are happening now? What have you done do you simply stay with traditional Costa Rican food and just a little bit slight twist, or do you try to fuse like Indian and Italian? Like, how have you kept up with that?
I do everything. Like I do from Italian to Japanese, Chinese. I do infusions. I mix everything together. So it's more like what I like to give is like, this is your vacation. This is your time. I'm here like to please you. If you want to have traditional Costa Rican food, I can give it to you. If you want something lighter, if you're like on a cleanse, I can do it. I adapt to people. And I liked it. I don't have like a style, to be honest. Like I really like doing barbecues. I like to do things on the grill. Also, I like to do pastas. I like to do Italian food. So I like to do a little bit of everything. So I adapt to them.
What's your favorite thing to make?
I would say like a grill. Anything on a grill, I love it. Those smoky flavors, I really like it. I love it. And I have a lot of practice with the grill. So that's also a part of it, I think, that I'm really passionate about.
So how would someone be able to contact you? Are you working with a company? Are you your own company?
I'm my own. I have a webpage. I have an Instagram account. Like easy things. I'm trying to develop a little bit more every time, like how they can like get to me. I put announces.
And it's a full experience, so they come.
That's my idea.
They spend the day with you.
That's kind of like my idea, but I also do just like private services. Kind of like if you just want a breakfast or a lunch or like a picnic on the beach, barbecue on the beach, those kind of things. I'm more than willing to do it.
I think so many people are interested in knowing now where their food comes from and how things are prepared. So I think an exciting part of that would be people wanting to see how you pick the fruit, how you choose certain produce, how you do it, and then seeing it and learning maybe how to prepare it too. It sounds really exciting.
Well, I know basically where all the products that I use come from. I try to buy directly to the producers because that's something that I think is really important now, that you can get everything wrapped on plastic on the supermarket. Also, you can get a producer to give you what he's producing. For example, like you can get a bottle of orange juice at Organico, or you can get oranges and go and squeeze them. It's really convenient to buy the liter of orange juice. But if you're doing it every single day, you are part of like this little problem that there is, that is called convenience. That people is just not looking anymore to get like things or prepare the things. They prefer, because it's convenience, like for example, get a jar of hummus.
Yes.
That going home, cooking some chickpeas,
Yeah.
and just blend it with some garlic and some oil, some tahini.
And some salt.
And some salt, you know. But people prefer that. People
Yeah.
prefer like the jar that is already done.
So I think, with the world paying more attention to where their food is coming from. In North America, the trend of farm to table is very big now. And if you don't go necessarily to producers, do you have people that have their own farms, their own fincas where you get the produce from?
Yeah.
And how is that sustaining Nosara? Like, how does that help the future?
I don't know if it's sustaining Nosara, to be honest, because there's a lot of people that is buying vegetables and greens, things that comes from outside of Nosara, because now it's growing too much. And to be honest, I don't know, like, if these producers can give enough for all Nosara. I'm not sure. And also because, like, give you an example, Harmony works. There's some producers that is called Cooperativa Copilangosta. So that's basically a lot of producers that are together trying to sell their own products to people. So what they're doing is kind of like baskets. This is what is available this week, and they will send you a list, all the products that are available for this week. It may not have potatoes, it may not have carrots, it may not have tomatoes this week. For me as a chef, that's kind of like a challenge, but it's a really nice challenge, because that means that I gotta keep up with my menus. I gotta be changing my recipes. But I like it because I'm using what is available on this piece of land.
So you're following nature.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, sometimes they will say, like, this week we have a lot of bok choy. Next week they will say, like, this week we have tiquisque, that is like taro, that is a root. Or they will tell you, like, for this other week we're gonna have a lot of oranges. And then next week you ask for oranges and they will say, like, there's nothing. So that's a challenge, but it's something nice.
So this is helping local farmers, local producers then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, because you can get everything from San Jose. I say San Jose because it's not that everything is growing in San Jose. It's growing in different places, but everything gets in a truck and comes here. Then you have, like, this lettuce that is okay. You have these vegetables that they're not organic. There's no tracking. You cannot know where those vegetables grew up or how. I don't like that. I like to know where it comes from. I like to think doing these kind of things makes a difference as a chef. If you buy or if you work with a specific kind of ingredients, like you want to have caviar, you want to have truffle oils, those kind of things, they're not from here. So you're gonna get it, like, really expensive. At the end, your product is gonna be really expensive. Those products, they're not gonna be the best ones. So it's better to use things that are here, like things that have always been used. Like, there's many recipes from Guanacaste that are delicious. And it's things that being like corn that is being growing, and they're being like these recipes being for ages.
And you're honoring your homeland. You're honoring what
Exactly.
is coming from the earth. And to me, that's probably the best part of being in Costa Rica, being in Nosara, is that respect and honor that I see given to the products that come from the land right here. I think it's a great goal. How does it affect you as a chef? Because you must have people who are, disappointed maybe, or
exactly. Yeah, I cannot please everybody.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the hardest part, basically saying no. Or I prefer saying no than doing something that I'm not really sure if I really want to do it. I'll give you an example. Somebody will say that they would like to have a meal with some type of products that they're not here in Nosara. When I try to explain it, like, for example, many times happens that there's brands that they're, like, used to using, because this is like an international city now. There's brands that you cannot find here in Nosara. So it's kind of like saying to the person, like, I'm sorry, we cannot find this specific brand. And, well, it's kind of like disappointing for them. Or I cannot do a specific preparation, a specific recipe, because I cannot find those recipes. Happens a lot with Japanese things, roots. Like, for example, like, till this year, I couldn't find daikon.
Do you grow daikon here?
There's a guy now.
Yeah.
There's a guy that grows daikon. There is one guy.
So for the whole area, only one guy, and daikon is such a common root vegetable now, used in so many different cooking, but especially Japanese.
Yeah. So, like, if I want to do a specific recipe and I know this goes really well with daikon and not finding it, it's kind of hard. That's why I prefer like trying to sell what is from this land, what is that it's got history,
Yeah.
that it's got culture. I like to say that every plate is a different tale, and every chef is a different storyteller.
Yeah. Oh,
I think that's what I do. Like, I'm a storyteller, but with my plates. My plates are like my tales.
that got to my foodie heart. Thank you
Holy
so
fuck,
much.
I'm gonna cry. That's amazing.